I am Andrew Parker's first love substitute, and one day his first love returned to the country. I know, as his substitute, I should be out of a job now. A month later, the contract expires. I automatically moved out of the villa, bought a cat, and moved into a suburban flat I had purchased in advance, ready to embrace a wonderful retirement life. I didn't expect to wake up the next morning to find a drenched chicken as a qualified substitute. I should always take good care of myself to make Andrew Parker satisfied. To this end, I regularly go shopping at the mall. I'm sorry, Miss Lancaster, the fishtail dress you mentioned has already been reserved, the beautiful store manager said. I raised an eyebrow. That dress was the new style of the season. There was only one, and it just arrived today. I came here just in time, but surprisingly it was already booked by someone else. Who is it, beautiful store manager? It was Parker who called this morning, saying he wanted to give it to a lady with the surname Parker. Her words were like Russian nesting dolls. Yet I inexplicably caught a whiff of gossip. Andrew Parker, Lily Parker, how do you know? It must be an older sister or younger sister. Lancaster is not worth thinking too much about, the beautiful store manager kindly reassured. It's probably because I bring her a good amount of business every week. I always use the Andrew Parker's supplementary card, with each purchase being no less than 100,000. Afraid I might cause a scene, the beautiful store manager wanted to divert my attention and lead me to look at other new styles. Other new styles are also very suitable for you. I've saved them all for you. Thank you. I politely thanked her and bought 2 or 3 skirts she recommended before heading home. Andrew Parker's first love has returned. No wonder he hasn't come over for a week, now that the main person is here. Why would I need to be a substitute? I calculated the time. There is still a month until the contract expires. Andrew Parker probably won't come over again. Since Andrew Parker won't come, I can't be bothered to tidy up. It turns out that dressing up every day as if I was about to debut was all to make him feel pleased. Besides dressing up, I also have to maintain my image and etiquette at all times, just to fit into that first love's image. I'm exhausted to death. I dare not eat snacks. I dare not touch hot pot and spicy soup, for fear of gaining weight and getting acne. Life is so miserable. Now that he is not coming, why should I bother? I opened the food delivery app and randomly selected a bunch of junk food, waiting for it to be delivered. During the wait, I couldn't help but start planning my future life. First, I need to find a house, away from the city center, preferably in the suburbs, with a yard. A single floor will do, so it will be convenient to raise a cat later. After finishing a bowl of spicy soup, I collapsed on the sofa and scrolled through my phone. Just as I was sitting cross-legged, looking disheveled and using VR to view my dream house, the security door opened. Andrew Parker came in. I was stunned. Due to my professional training as a stand-in for 3 years. That sentence, "Why are you here?" was forced back down my throat. Andrew Parker changed his shoes and walked towards me with raised eyebrows. After seeing my appearance and the mess on the coffee table, he frowned. He said unhappily, "How did it end up like this?" I didn't want it to end up like this. Babe, it's because you came so suddenly. What about your first love? What about your first love that you loved for so many years but couldn't have? Why did you suddenly come to find me when you said you wouldn't be with her? No wonder you can only be a backup and can't get what you want. The person in front of me was actually lost in thought. Andrew Parker helplessly tapped the woman's forehead and said, "Open the door. What are you thinking about? I wonder how you managed to become a backup for so long." I was mumbling and cursing in my heart, but a faint smile appeared on my face. "You're back so late. I'll make you a late-night snack." After saying that, I wanted to take a table full of unfinished junk food to the kitchen to dispose of it, but Andrew Parker stopped me. "No need, I'm not hungry." The smile on my face froze, and I almost couldn't hold it. "Baby, if you don't eat a late-night snack, how am I supposed to dispose of the body? After driving for a while, you must be thirsty. I'll go pour you a glass of water." Andrew Parker lazily raised his eyelids. "The driver brought me here." All right then, it's not that I don't try hard, it's just that you don't give me a chance, Your Majesty Tilda. So this character has collapsed. And we both share half the responsibility. Okay, when I leave, don't deduct my little money. Okay, Tilda, Obviously Andrew Parker didn't know what I was thinking. He just glanced at the messy table. Leave it, the housekeeper will clean it up tomorrow. Then I was pulled upstairs by him, taking a shower, staggering. Everything seemed to fall into place. I have to say, Andrew Parker is really handsome, such a beautiful man. Truly, seeing him one day less is one day less. Before falling asleep, I thought regretfully. Andrew Parker looked at the person who was already fast asleep, helplessly tugged at his lips, and resignedly picked him up to take him to the bathroom. After eating so much junk food, I haven't seen much improvement in my stamina. When I woke up, the room was pitch black, as if it was still not dawn. But from my experience, I knew it was already past noon outside. The lack of light was due to the excellent blackout curtains. I picked up the phone on the bedside table. And there were about 10 missed calls, all from the same number. It's from this city. I called back. On the other end, someone quickly answered, "Oh, Miss Lancaster, I've called you several times, and you finally responded." For major clients, agents are always patient, because as long as they successfully close one deal, they can relax for half a year. I didn't waste any words and said directly, "I'm on my way." After getting dressed and tidying up a bit, I planned to go out to see the house. After going downstairs, I found that the mess on the coffee table had been cleaned up completely. It was probably tidied up by the housekeeping service. I didn't pay much attention, put on comfortable shoes, and went out. The house I wanted to see is in the suburbs, and without traffic. It took a full 2 hours to drive there. When I got off the car, I pondered that this suburb is truly a suburb, without any embellishment. The house meets my expectations. The yard is spacious, it's a single floor. And the layout is to my liking. Most importantly, there is a thick old tree in the yard, which is said to be 100 years old. I can already imagine a month from now, me sitting in a rocking chair, fanning myself, holding a cat. After signing the contract and making the payment, I return to the villa. At the entrance of the villa, there is an elegantly dressed woman who has already opened the villa door and is about to enter. Just a glimpse of her back made me realize who this person is. Lily Parker. There are no thieves in high-end villa areas, and it's even a thief who can open Andrew Parker's villa. This. Did I go the wrong way or did she? I looked around carefully the surroundings, confirming that I didn't go the wrong way, so I lifted my foot and walked into the villa, greeting Lily Parker. "Hello Tilda," this lady who intruded into the private residence. "Parker, what brings you here?" Lily Parker turned around and seemed not surprised at all. She scanned me from top to bottom, as if with an X-ray, and casually said, "Since you know my last name is Parker, you must know who I am. This villa was originally mine, and I set the password." Intruding into a private residence? How is that possible? I twitched the corner of my mouth. Andrew Parker, that big boss. Does he not change cages for his canaries and wife? Isn't it awkward now? I smiled slightly like her and said, "Then please feel free, if you want to share a bed tonight. I can make space right away." Tilda. Lily Parker choked a bit, feeling that this person in front of her was acting out of the ordinary. She came over to assert her dominance, but this person let her do as she pleased. I stopped paying attention to her, changed my shoes, and planned to take a break. Running to the suburbs was too tiring. "You seem quite at ease." Just as I was about to go upstairs, I heard this remark from behind me. I paused, turned around, and looked at her in confusion. Then I heard Lily Parker say, "Seeing your face, I feel like I'm looking at myself from 3 years ago." I was speechless. Was she trying to say that I look like her? Or that I was Andrew Parker's stand-in? Well, thank you. I knew that when I signed the contract 3 years ago. Lily Parker changed her tone. "You don't deserve Andrew, leave early. He will only be mine." "That won't do." I tucked the loose hair behind my ear and smiled as I refused. "The contract doesn't expire for another month. If I leave now, it would be considered a breach. Not only would I not get a breakup fee, but I might even have to pay money. I won't do something so unprofitable." Lily Parker let out a light laugh, mocking my overestimation of myself. "Continuing to cling to this is meaningless. I just feel sorry for you and don't want it to end too badly. Which is why I came to remind you. After all, you are still young and don't understand many things. I'm 23 this year, which is young. But where does this 26-year-old sister get her sense of superiority, mature beauty, Sorry, contemporary mature beauty is out of style. Everyone prefers the younger look, even when looking at handsome guys, people like the little puppy type now. I pretended to be surprised and glanced away from Lily Parker's face. Miss Parker is much older than me. I thought you only looked 27 or 28, just like Parker. Visibly, Lily Parker's face froze immediately. She looked at me in disbelief, her face full of doubt. 27 or 28? Do I look like I'm 27 or 28? Lily Parker almost screamed, and I held back my laughter, seriously nodding my head. That's right. Parker Miss looks like a woman in her late 20s, both intelligent and beautiful. She must have been quite stimulated by me. Lily Parker left with a pale face. It was Andrew Parker, this first love, who was rather rude, leaving without closing the door for me. I turned around and closed the door, tied it up in the room, and then fell into a dream. In my dream, I seemed to be lying in a rocking chair, with blue skies and white clouds wherever I looked, a gentle breeze blowing, not hot at all. In my arms was a snow-white Persian cat, obediently allowing me to pet it. It was extremely pleasant. Unfortunately, my beautiful life was interrupted by Andrew Parker, feeling short of breath. I opened my eyes and saw a magnified handsome face. His eyes were slightly closed, kissing me seriously, without realizing that I was awake. I suspect he wants to murder me this way. I'm almost suffocating. I reached out and pushed him hard. Andrew Parker paused, opened his eyes, his lips slightly parted, allowing me to catch my breath. He looked at me with a half smile, full of teasing. After so long, you still can't hold your breath. I couldn't help it and gave him a roll of my eyes. Breaking character, whose family steals kisses and expects the victim to hold their breath while kissing. Go to hell, it's just me. If it were someone else, they would have given you a big slap the moment they woke up. Andrew Parker smiled, and the sight of the person rolling their eyes was surprisingly cute. 3 black lines appeared on my forehead, and I almost wanted to lose my temper, but I can't. The contract hasn't expired yet. I tried to keep a smile on my face and asked kindly, have you had dinner? What the hell is this? This guy's first love bullied me during the day, and this guy came to bully me at night. Can't you guys resolve your own internal conflicts by yourselves? I smiled on the outside, but inside I was cursing. In the next second, I was picked up by Andrew Parker. I just called you to get up for dinner. Thank you very much. If you don't call, I can just have breakfast tomorrow. I didn't feel it at first, but when I sat at the dining table, I felt my stomach empty and my appetite surged. I discreetly finished a bowl of white rice and half of the 3 dishes and 1 soup, smiling and saying, you should eat more. I'm done. Andrew Parker glanced at the plate and nodded. He has always adhered to the principle of not talking while eating or sleeping, continuing to eat quietly and elegantly. I sat across from him and admired him. I have to say, handsome guys are like that. No matter what they do, they look good. Even a handsome guy who is eating is particularly pleasing to the eye. I quietly watched, with a smile, as Andrew Parker finished 2 bowls of white rice and half of the 3 dishes and 1 soup. I know he is still holding on to this, because it's not advisable to eat too much at night. Otherwise, based on his usual appetite, at least 3 bowls of rice, I couldn't help but think of Lily Parker looking like a fairy during the day. Could it bet Andrew Parker can't rise to the occasion because he eats too much? Lily Parker thinks it's too embarrassing to take him out. Andrew Parker put down the empty bowls and chopsticks, only to find the girl across from him looking at him with a strange smile. To describe it specifically, it was sympathy, schadenfreude, and a kind of silly look of enjoying the spectacle. He couldn't help but fall silent. Could it be that eating a meal had turned into a performance? I came back to my senses and stood up gracefully to cover up my earlier emotions. I'll clean up. Andrew Parker held me back. No need, the housekeeper will come tomorrow. You accompany me upstairs to digest. Me, I could go to hell. It's the first time I've seen someone say staggering in such a peculiar way. At a critical moment Andrew Parker suddenly stopped moving, biting my ear and asked, Lily Parker, what did she come over to tell you? My mind was a complete mess, and I was so anxious that I wanted to scratch him. How could I answer his question? But this person was getting impatient today, seemingly unwilling to give up until he got an answer. Be good, tell me, And I'll give you something. What did she say that made you look at me like that while I was eating? Me. I wanted to cry but had no tears. How did I even look at him just now? And Andrew Parker's voice, like that of a demon, echoed again. Vivienne, tell me, she said, let me be more sensible. In the end, I still yielded and summarized Lily Parker's words. Actually, Lily Parker was overthinking. I have no other merits. The only two are being beautiful and being sensible. Being beautiful led me to be sought after by Andrew Parker as a substitute for his first love for 3 years. I didn't go to any strange places or take on any strange jobs. Being sensible meant that I only coveted Andrew Parker's beauty, without ever being moved, as Andrew Parker's cherished one hidden in his golden house. I was taken out to meet his friends a few times. It was also from them that I learned Andrew Parker and Lily Parker's complete story. Although their names differ by only one character, the two are not siblings and have no biological or physical relationship. They were just very fated. Their parents gave them names that differed by only one character. The two met in high school, in the same class. On the first day of school registration, the roll call became the focus of the entire class. One was handsome, and the other was beautiful and graceful. Everyone, including the homeroom teacher, asked if they were relatives. After the two denied it, someone even asked if they might have a relative relationship they themselves were unaware of. Andrew Parker was annoyed by the questions and took Lily Parker to get a paternity test. They then posted the test results on the school bulletin board, and that was the end of the matter. Of course, this was just the beginning of their fate, a handsome boy and a beautiful girl, both in the most naive period of their youth. Naturally easily developed certain chemical reactions. A layer of haziness gradually appeared in the middle. Almost everyone who pursues Andrew Parker has to compare themselves with Lily Parker. Almost everyone who pursues Lily Parker has to compare themselves with Andrew Parker. Unknowingly, the relationship between the two became closer, and they eventually agreed to attend the same university. Upon arriving here, I couldn't help but exclaim, "Ah, what a beautiful and pure feeling." However, the turning point has come. After entering university, Lily Parker suddenly had a handsome guy by her side who was on par with Andrew Parker. That person always appeared when Lily Parker needed it the most, and Andrew Parker was gradually overshadowed, in the blink of an eye. After graduating from university, Lily Parker and that handsome guy both went abroad. While Andrew Parker couldn't forget and sought me out, at that moment, I couldn't help but let out a long sigh. Andrew Parker, are you stupid? You say you didn't take advantage of the time when they liked you the most, and now that they are with someone else, what's the use of finding a substitute to reminisce? But by then, I had already become Andrew Parker's, stumbling countless times, and it was too late to say anything. The key is to maintain the persona without collapsing. After all, I am after his money, and he is after my face that looks similar to Lily Parker. When I woke up, I thought I should go shopping again. The initial agreement stated that everything I obtained during the relationship, I could take with me after it ended. Since that's the case, why shouldn't I buy more? After all, this little bit of stuff is just a drop in the bucket for Andrew Parker. I watched a man and a woman not far away, affectionately picking out clothes together, raising an eyebrow. The woman Lily Parker is with a man who is not Andrew Parker, but I know this person. He is quite different from Andrew Parker, who never appears in the news. His various news stories are everywhere. He is Andrew Parker's rival, Julian Montgomery. Lily Parker seemed to see me, raising an eyebrow from a distance, her face full of pride. Her Pharaoh-like image completely collapsed in my eyes. I don't know what she said to Julian Montgomery. Julian Montgomery showed a self-proclaimed charming smile that actually seemed a bit sleazy and greasy to me, and then he kissed Lily Parker hard on the lips. I looked at the couple who seemed to be embracing and kissing across from me. My expression complicated. I took out my phone to check the time. Only an hour had passed, and Lily Parker has changed the person she is kissing to Andrew Parker. At that moment, I felt no jealousy or envy, only a strange thought in my mind. Does Andrew Parker and Julian Montgomery count as an indirect kiss? Then what about me and Lily Parker? No, we definitely do not count. I and Andrew Parker were together last night. Andrew Parker is a very hygienic person, even a bit of a neat freak. He had already brushed his teeth and washed his face, so I and Lily Parker definitely do not count. Lily Parker glanced and sweetly thanked, Andrew, my eyes are fine now, but I noticed that there was a girl looking at you. She seemed very angry, as if she was jealous. Is she someone you know? Andrew Parker felt a chill, an ominous feeling surged in his heart. Just now, the two were walking. Lily Parker suddenly said she was dazzled and asked him to help her blow it away. He felt like he was seeing a ghost. How could someone get dazzled in a mall with no wind or dust? However, for the sake of the plan ahead, he still cooperated. Otherwise, how could he portray his deep emotional character? Andrew Parker felt the hairs on the back of his neck stand up. In this mall, the only girl he could think of who he was familiar with was one. That is the one who likes to shop here, Vivienne Lancaster. He gritted his teeth and turned around, and sure enough, he saw his pampered little canary, looking at him with a complex expression. Andrew Parker, danger. Lily Parker, you idiot. You got me. Lily Parker, not knowing what he was thinking, as if seeing me for the first time, he asked me with a puzzled tone, Miss, are you Andrew's girlfriend? Without waiting for my answer, she continued, don't misunderstand. I just had some discomfort in my eyes, so I asked Andrew to help me take a look. I'm sorry for making you misunderstand. Andrew Parker at this moment just wanted to get rid of her, not wanting to hear her speak, pinched his nose and said, Lily, no need to explain to her, she is just an insignificant person. However, Lily Parker clearly did not do as he wished and still completed the rest of her words, we are just very good friends, there is no other relationship. So please don't misunderstand. I feel like this play doesn't need me to appear at all. Clearly, I am right here, without saying a word, and everything has been arranged for me clearly. You city folks really know how to have fun. I, coming from the mountains, can't understand it. I smile and nod. As long as you are happy, that's fine. I don't know Andrew Parker what he thinks. Since he is an unimportant person, it's better to pretend not to be familiar and keep our distance. As a result, he insisted on coming up to me and said, you go back first. I look at him. It doesn't matter anymore. Where should I go? Hurry up and give me the breakup fee. He seemed to misunderstand my eye signals and quietly said, I'll explain to you when you get back. I don't know what he wants to explain. I just watched his lips move, held back for a moment, but still couldn't resist. I remember you have a cleanliness obsession. Andrew Parker was taken aback by the question and instinctively nodded. I pursed my lips and asked gently, is there a kiss? What do you think? Andrew Parker thought the person opposite was jealous, suspecting he had something with Lily Parker, that silly bee, and felt inexplicably happy inside. I guess this little white-eyed wolf still has a bit of conscience, Tilda. I glanced at Lily Parker. She met my gaze, provocatively raised an eyebrow, and silently moved her lips. He is mine. I withdrew my gaze and smiled slightly at Andrew Parker. An hour ago, she just kissed another man. Do you want to rinse your mouth? I deliberately said these two sentences very loudly, so that Lily Parker could hear them too. After I finished speaking, I was satisfied to see Lily Parker's face freeze. Then I waved my sleeve and left without taking a single cloud away. As for how these two will entangle, it's none of my business. I was kissed awake by Andrew Parker, my eyes wide open in terror. Has Andrew Parker brushed his teeth yet? I don't want to kiss indirectly with Lily Parker, I screamed like a groundhog in my heart. Biting down hard on Andrew Parker, when he pulled away in pain, I pushed him away and ran to the bathroom. I want to rinse my mouth. I rushed to the faucet, and when I looked up, Andrew Parker was looking at me expressionlessly. His eyes were filled with anger. He said, do you find me disgusting? I gave a standard smile showing 6 teeth. How could I? I just suddenly remembered that I didn't brush my teeth. Really? Andrew Parker let out a cold laugh. He stepped forward 2 steps, cupped my face with his hands, and kissed me. I don't want to be Lily Parker, that woman's pollution. Andrew Parker, did you even brush your teeth or not? I'm dirty. Boo-hoo, Tilda. I let him kiss me, my heart dead as ashes, until he was done before letting go. Andrew Parker was amused and angry. What expression are you making? Am I a virus? I want to laugh, but I really can't. Why don't you brush your teeth and wash your face first? I sincerely suggest, otherwise I really won't be able to maintain my persona tonight. Andrew Parker instantly recalled how this person waved his sleeve and walked away without even looking at him during the day, and his face darkened immediately. After grinding my teeth, the thought of explaining vanished in an instant. Even if you dislike me, you have to endure it. Right now, I really want to bite you to death. It's impossible to bite to death, but I also died quite miserably. That guy actually made me sleep from last night until tonight. Very well. I underestimated him in the past. It turns out he can not only make me sleep until the sun is high in the sky, but also make me sleep an entire day. I can't live like this anymore. While I was cursing, my phone suddenly rang. A strange number from the city. My phone hardly rings except for marketing calls. Out of curiosity, I answered it. Immediately, a voice Lily Parker came through the receiver. Andrew, it hurts. Be gentle. You're hurting me. Andrew tilde, be good, it won't hurt soon. I jolted and quickly hung up the phone. For a long time, I was still in a daze, my cheeks flushed, excitedly. It's a live broadcast. Lily Parker is really generous, letting me hear about this kind of thing. This is something I could never hear no matter how much I spend tilde. I sat face to face with Lily Parker in the cafe, and with an elegant wave of her hand, she called the waiter over, a latte. After saying that, she looked at me. Her eyes filled with inquiry. Miss Lancaster, what would you like to drink? A cappuccino. That flavor is suitable for those who are new to coffee. Miss Lancaster would probably like it. What does it mean to be new to drinking coffee? I looked at Lily Parker, wondering if she invited me out just to show the cafe's waiter that I am a country bumpkin. Well, she really picked the right place. I never drink coffee, just a little, and I can't sleep at night. I also don't like that taste. Compared to coffee, I prefer milk tea. I drink milk tea. The waiter looked at me with a somewhat awkward expression. Sorry, miss, we don't have milk tea here. I hadn't spoken yet. Lily Parker smiled and took over the conversation, saying to the waiter, sorry, my friend has never had coffee. Just give her a cappuccino. Okay. The waiter quickly left. I looked at Lily Parker with a half smile, really unable to understand, knowing that I have never had coffee, yet inviting me to meet in a coffee shop. What, Parker, is it just to let the waiter know that I am inexperienced? No, Lily Parker chuckled softly, it's to let you know the difference between you and Andrew. I raised an eyebrow, a difference of 1 cup of coffee, seemingly seeing my thoughts. Lily Parker straightforwardly said, you came out from the remote mountains. He was born as the prince of the capital circle. The end of your struggle is his starting point. The things you cannot reach are his daily life. I suddenly realized, you are right. Lily Parker smiled gently, satisfied with my understanding. Then remember, you just look like, I snapped my fingers, interrupting her. I really think you are absolutely right. After careful consideration, with my abilities, I could work hard my whole life and still not earn enough for retirement. But following Parker is just different. If even a little leaks through his fingers, I can live particularly well. Parker miss, you are truly a good person. I will definitely hold on tight to Parker this person. Lily Parker's smile froze for a moment, then blossomed again. You don't have to pretend to be clueless with me. Andrew loves me. With just a casual word from me, I can make you leave immediately. Moreover, I can help him in his career. Can you? You only spend her money on things that don't suit you, she said, her gaze meaningfully sweeping over my clothes. Today, I am wearing a traditional Chinese qipao, a casual style that isn't too eye-catching. The upper part looks very beautiful as well, but this style, Lily Parker's, to cater to Andrew Parker's ideal image, the clothes I bought are all soft and gentle in style, long skirts, short skirts, traditional, western. The effect on the upper body is always elegant and graceful. There are even a few skirts that are hung with small white flowers. I just couldn't stand it, so I haven't bought that kind again. I always thought this style suited me quite well. Was it really not suitable? Coffee arrived. Lily Parker elegantly picked up a small spoon and gently stirred. She also elegantly lifted it and took a sip. If I didn't know she was drinking coffee, I would have thought she was sucking on something strange. Seeing that I wasn't moving, Lily Parker smiled and said, cappuccino. Very milky flavor. You should try it. Little girls love it. I still didn't move. I felt that this boring meeting should come to an end. Thinking this, I decided to leave. She saw my intention and reached across the table to grab my hand. She winked at me and smiled with a hint of pride. "Aren't you the one who doesn't believe what I say? Let me make you believe." I hadn't reacted yet. I saw her firmly hook my hand with 2 fingers while the other 3 fingers lifted the coffee and splashed it onto her own head. My fingers hurt from her forceful grip. At the moment she splashed the coffee, I took advantage of the brief moment of looseness to shake my hand and finally got her hand off. The coffee cup was thrown far away, landing on the ground with a bang, shattering into pieces. What kind of first love is this, with such strength in 2 fingers, but this kind of cliché scene? "What are you doing?" Suddenly, from behind me came Andrew Parker's deep voice. I thought to myself, as expected. Lily Parker immediately explained for me. "Andrew, don't be angry. Miss Lancaster definitely didn't mean it. She probably just drank coffee for the first time, thought it tasted good, wanted me to try the cappuccino, and accidentally." This excuse was too well crafted. Don't come up with excuses next time. It made me unsure how to cooperate even if I wanted to. There is a complete set of coffee brewing equipment in the villa. Andrew Parker personally taught me how to brew coffee step by step. The taste is sure to satisfy you, it's just that the way of drinking is a bit special, so I find it hard to like it. Andrew Parker took off his coat and covered Lily Parker with it. "You go tidy up first." "Okay," Lily Parker responded, but did not leave. Instead, she looked at me with a worried face, seemingly very uneasy. "Andrew, Miss Lancaster really didn't mean it. Please don't be angry." In such situations, one would usually be even angrier. I looked up at Andrew Parker, and sure enough, I saw his face turn cold. When I looked over, he also looked at me. "Can you splash water on someone's face if it wasn't intentional?" Lily Parker anxiously grabbed Andrew Parker's wrist. "Andrew, Miss Lancaster really didn't mean to." Just saying it, my confidence was lacking. I twitched my lips, just about to speak. Andrew Parker spoke again. "Go back. Don't come out and embarrass yourself." I lowered my gaze and glanced at Lily Parker, her eyes filled with pride, getting closer to Andrew Parker. Plus, looking all disheveled, she appeared pitiful. Great. This is another performance that doesn't need me. I grabbed my bag and turned to leave. Lily Parker is my first love. I am the substitute. How can a substitute show off in front of first love? I have given up the desire to argue with that time. I might as well go back and eat another pound of spicy crayfish. "Andrew Parker, you big fool. I have crayfish in my left hand and snowflake beer in my right." I ate happily, drank happily, and couldn't help but curse loudly. "You deserve to be a backup. Andrew Parker, you are just a big fool." My passionate cursing, unaware that the villa door has already opened. "Andrew Parker. Andrew Parker." As soon as I entered, the words "big fool" echoed repeatedly in my ears. It felt like it was directly stuffed into his brain, penetrating through his skull. It seems he was really angry. I shouted with all my might, feeling relaxed, and then got even more drunk. The small crayfish in my hand turned into countless numbers, and countless more appeared in front of me. Andrew Parker, smiling helplessly and gently. "What the hell?" I raised my hand and threw the crayfish in my hand at his face. "You big fool." Andrew Parker quickly closed his eyes, thinking that even when drunk, his accuracy was still so high. Could it be that he was pretending? Only after the thing on his face fell off did he dare to open his eyes. The eyelids suddenly felt a burning pain. Very good. As expected from spicy crayfish, this spiciness must be sufficient. He casually grabbed a piece of paper to wipe. Not in a hurry to wash, but after scolding the girl who had collapsed and hitting her once, he carried her to the bedroom bed. He wiped her clean with a hot towel and covered her with a quilt. Then finally washed his own face. The spot where the crayfish hit has already turned red from the spiciness. Andrew Parker stared at the mirror for a moment and licked his cheek. "Consider it revenge for what I scolded you earlier. Now we're even." Then he went downstairs and tidied up the messy living room. I squinted and got up, wanting to go to the bathroom and drink some water. I vaguely saw a cup of water on the bedside table, picked it up, and gulped it down. The water is still warm. It's honey lemon water. Such thoughtfulness probably only comes from that housekeeper who is like a dragon that shows its tail but not its head. After drinking the water, I felt a strong urge to urinate, and I scrambled to the bathroom. after taking care of my physiological needs. I opened the calendar and counted the days until the contract expires on my fingers. Almost there. I can start moving things into my little yard now. I happily started to pack up clothes, jewelry, bags. Take them all. After all, although these were bought to create a persona, they were all purchased according to my preferences. It's a bit of using public resources for personal gain. But what does it matter? A stand-in is just a stand-in. If it looks 100% like it, wouldn't that offend their first love? A substitute should be 50% similar and 50% different. Being vague and indistinct is the least annoying. Otherwise, why would I endure it for 3 years? In this regard, no one understands me better than I do. Until I moved everything to the ground floor like a little hamster, Andrew Parker never came back. I'm not surprised at all. That day, I actually splashed him with a whole cup of coffee. Shouldn't he feel a bit heartbroken, Lily Parker, and dislike me? I sit on the balcony swing, drinking milk and gazing at the night sky. Today is the last day of the contract. Once the sun rises, I can buy a cat to live in my little yard. I happily fantasize for a while and fall asleep snuggled in my blanket, because I went to bed early last night. It was just dawn, the best time of the morning. It's also a great time to visit the flower, bird, and fish market. I packed up, stuffed my nightgown into the large bag I had set aside, and walked out of the villa feeling light and cheerful. I have moved all my other belongings, except for what I'm wearing. My traces in this villa have been completely cleared away. If Andrew Parker doesn't pay the breakup fee, that's all money. The flower, bird, and fish market lives up to its name. Everything that flies in the sky, walks on the ground, or swims in the water is for sale. I bought a snow-white Persian cat, only a month and a half old, particularly well-behaved and beautiful, like a noble princess. I carried it in a kitten bed. And it was also well-behaved and didn't make a fuss. It just looked at me with its big eyes, making my heart race. I feel like I'm in love. It really is my dream cat, Princess. I will definitely love you well in the future. Not long after the princess and I got home, a small car delivered goods to our door. It's the cat supplies I ordered. Everything for eating, drinking, and playing is all included. The delivery person almost cried when he saw me. I said, "Miss, isn't it bad in the city? Why do you have to live in such a remote corner? I've almost spent $200 on gas." I'll give you extra money. The delivery uncle looked at me and sighed. That's not what I meant. But the money really has to be increased. It's too far. I'll help you carry the things inside. But since you live in such a remote place, don't go out at night. It's not safe. There are always good people in the world. And I was so happy with the concern from the stranger uncle that I gave him an extra $500. I let the princess out, and it seemed to know that this would be its home in the future. Wandering back and forth in the yard and the house, after it had finished exploring, it ran over to me and rubbed against me, then continued to wander around. I busily set up its nest and toys, and I was quite tired. Fortunately, I had the foresight to prepare a lot of food. Otherwise, in this suburb, even delivery services wouldn't come. Even if they did come, hot dishes would have turned into cold dishes. After finishing my meal, I took the princess to bed to sleep. I slept very soundly, and luckily there were no thieves at the door. Otherwise, I wouldn't have even known if I had been robbed. If it weren't for the princess licking me awake, I probably could have continued sleeping. The sun is shining brightly outside. It looks like a nice day. The princess's bowl is in the yard. When I opened the door to feed her, I discovered that the ground outside was wet, and there were some places with standing water. So it rained last night. I had no idea. Maybe there was no thunder. It definitely wasn't because I was sleeping too soundly. The princess likes cleanliness and doesn't like wet floors. Meowing anxiously at my feet, the little short legs kept moving around, and I couldn't help but laugh out loud. I squatted down and patted it. "Princess, you are just too healing. How can you be so cute?" I hurried to get its bowl, which was surprisingly filled to the brim with water. I poured the water out, rinsed the bowl clean, and added some cat food, squatting beside it to watch it eat, a tiny little one. With its whole little head buried in the cat bowl, it's reached a new level of cuteness. Suddenly, some discordant sounds came. First, there was a dull sound of something being kicked, accompanied by a slight rustling of clothes. I was a bit confused and looked in the direction the sound was coming from. Once I saw clearly, my eyes widened instantly. Look at what I saw. Could it be that I actually haven't woken up yet? I actually saw Andrew Parker jump over a 2.5-meter high wall and land in my small courtyard. What the hell? Avoiding him, I looked at the wall behind him. There are shards of glass on top, but no electric fence. I decided to pull it off today. Regarding my neglect, Andrew Parker looked even colder. He walked towards me step by step, stopping just a step away from me. Vivienne Lancaster, did you sleep well last night? Andrew Parker gritted his teeth, barely stopping himself from giving this person in front of him a good kick. Can you imagine? He prepared 999 colorful roses, ordered a cake, and brought a ring, nervously and expectantly heading back to the villa to confess and propose, only to find the place empty. If it weren't for his people constantly monitoring Julian Montgomery and Lily Parker, he would have almost thought his canary had been kidnapped. As he approached, I felt a chill wash over me. I shrank my neck. Only then did I realize that this chill was not solely due to Andrew Parker's aura, but also his appearance. His high-end suit has already wrinkled into a pickle, the hem of his clothes is still dripping with water. Where did this drenched chicken come from? Phut. I couldn't help but laugh out loud. It was my first time seeing someone so disheveled. Andrew Parker. Andrew Parker immediately darkened his face, grabbed me, and went into the house. He quickly scanned the surroundings, and found that the room was quite spacious and the decoration was decent. The things that used to be placed in the villa are now all here, and it's not chaotic, but rather orderly. Very good, definitely not moved in one day. I know Andrew Parker is looking at the house. But I don't know why he wants to look, but he was wet, making my nightgown wet too, which was very uncomfortable. I struggled to get him to let go of me, and with one forceful move, he threw me onto the sofa. I had just wanted to get up. Andrew Parker pressed down on me. Andrew Parker, you big fool. You got my clothes wet. After cursing, I suddenly realized what I had said, and immediately covered my mouth with my hand, looking at Andrew Parker with innocent eyes. Andrew Parker licked his lips and grinned. Come on, tell me, how many times have you wanted to curse me like this? Or rather, how many times have you cursed me like this in private? Such Andrew Parker looks particularly sinister, more dangerous than ever. My survival instinct made me shake my head madly. I didn't, don't talk nonsense. Really? Andrew Parker let out another light laugh. They say hitting is affection, scolding is love, so does that mean you love me? Can someone tell me, Andrew Parker, what on earth has stimulated him? No way, something that can stimulate Andrew Parker must be Lily Parker. Lily Parker, you dead green tea, just dig the pit and don't care about burying it. You'll fall into a pit and die sooner or later. I cursed him fiercely in my heart and pushed him hard. Andrew Parker, don't go crazy. Who provoked you? Go find them. Our contract has expired. I am no longer your first love substitute. Get away from me. I thought these words could at least hold back Andrew Parker. After all, he is usually such a rational and restrained person. How could he possibly tolerate this? As a result, Andrew Parker just glanced at me lightly. He said, me, while I was extremely confused. He picked me up and carried me towards the bathroom with one hand, kicking off his shoes and taking off his suit as he walked. By the time I reached the bathroom door, his upper body was already bare. Is this something I can still see without a contractual relationship? Of course not. I covered my eyes with my hand and shouted, "Stop it, it's impossible to stop." I felt dead and then alive, only to die again. When I opened my eyes again, the first thing I felt was my whole body aching. I stared blankly at the ceiling, feeling hopeless. Very good, I have new insights about Andrew Parker. It turns out that guy has so many tricks. I cursed and crawled out of bed, putting on my nightgown. I have to go to the yard to look for the princess, and I don't know Andrew Parker if he has mistreated her. As soon as I opened the door, I gasped, "Andrew Parker, you really are mistreating the princess." I rushed over and rescued the princess from his hands. Andrew Parker twitched the corner of his mouth. "I didn't mistreat her, I just grabbed her by the scruff of her neck." "Why did you grab her? She's so small, it must hurt her." I gently stroked the princess's fur, soothing her frightened little heart. She shook her fur in my arms and was about to jump to the ground. I was afraid she would fall, so I quickly set her down. Then, it ran over Andrew Parker and with a little effort from its 4 little legs, it started to climb up Andrew Parker's pant leg. While climbing, it rubbed against him, looking utterly in love. My heart shattered. Andrew Parker was initially blamed, feeling a bit angry and a sense of indescribable grievance. But now he was smiling. He lifted the little guy again and said, "See, it's not that I want to lift it, it's that it keeps wanting to climb on me. I'm cooking right now. Do you want to eat cat hair?" The princess was lifted again, and I quickly hugged her back, dissatisfied, saying, "Don't lift her." Andrew Parker choked up and licked his back gums. With a cat in my arms, I became curious about another thing. "You, cooking? Look at what I just heard. My domineering CEO Parker, financial backer, is actually cooking. Is it still for me? Am I crazy or is he crazy?" Andrew Parker snorted coldly and pushed me to the dining table. "Eat." I have ample reason to suspect he is trying to poison me, but when I saw the 3 dishes and a soup on the dining table, I was stunned. No way. I trembled as I picked up the chopsticks, trembled as I grabbed a shrimp, and trembled as I brought it to my mouth. The familiar taste, the familiar texture, is the dish made by the elusive housekeeper from the villa. What the hell? There's nothing more horrifying than this. I cautiously glanced at the Andrew Parker across from me and smiled. "You called the housekeeper over?" "Huh, as long as Andrew Parker dares to say it, I dare to believe it." But Andrew Parker just gave me a glance and said nonchalantly, "No, I did it, me." I cautiously put down my chopsticks and nervously pulled my chair back. Then I looked up and met Andrew Parker's eyes, which were hard to describe in terms of emotion. I forced a dry laugh and said, "Haha, so Parker still likes to cook, huh, that's really a thoughtful hobby." As I praised him, I couldn't continue. Seeing that I had stopped, Andrew Parker said, "Wow, why aren't you praising anymore?" I was silent for a moment, feeling the need to talk to him. "Parker, sir. I know you see me as Parker, Mrs. Substitute. Now that the real person has returned, you don't need to use me to relieve your longing anymore. And I know you and Parker Miss have already established a substantial relationship. Our contract has also expired, and I will not entangle you. You were the one who brought me out of that place, and I am very grateful to you. I truly wish to see you and Parker Miss become a couple in the end." Every time I say something, I have to observe Andrew Parker's expression. Seeing that he is very calm, I feel more at ease. "Parker, sir, I was really grateful to you back then. So I won't have any improper thoughts about you. You can rest assured, I will definitely not entangle you. This is the truth." At that time, with financial support, I graduated from high school, got into university, and came to the capital. I studied at university in the capital for 2 years and never thought about going back. Because my parents passed away long ago, I grew up living under someone else's roof, staying at my uncle and aunt's house. Being able to graduate from high school smoothly was entirely due to the support of that kind-hearted person. Tuition was paid directly to the school, and living expenses were given to me, but I had to give those living expenses to my aunt, keeping only a small portion to satisfy my daily need for 3 steamed buns. They originally did not want me to go to college and wanted to marry me off directly in exchange for a bride price. I told them that I could earn more money in the big city for them, which is why they agreed to let me leave the mountains. But now that I have come out, how could I still let them control me? 2 years after I started college, they came looking for me. Through their useless son, they sold me. I was sold to a club that wanted me to entertain clients, but it didn't succeed. I was taken out by Andrew Parker on my first night there, so I willingly followed him, and after going to college, I realized that the one funding me was Parker. This made me feel even more grateful towards him, but Andrew Parker clearly didn't appreciate my subtlety. "Are you done?" I pulled my thoughts back and nodded. "I'm done." Andrew Parker put down his chopsticks and wiped his mouth with a napkin, then let me speak. "Oh, please go ahead." As I was pondering what kind of opening he would use, I saw him pull out his phone from somewhere, tap on it, and push the phone in front of me. "First, take a look." I lowered my head to look at my phone as instructed and found that the phone screen was open to a trending news article. Upon investigation, the Montgomery family has been involved in tax evasion, multiple products under its name are substandard, and there are money laundering activities. I quickly skimmed through and roughly finished reading an article. I only summarized it into one sentence. The Montgomery Group is finished. But what does this have to do with me? I looked at Andrew Parker with confusion. Andrew Parker smiled slightly. The Montgomery Group is finished, and Julian Montgomery, the current president, is also finished. I quickly replied, "You have a chance now." Andrew Parker paused, squinted his eyes, and smiled somewhat dangerously. The Parker and Montgomery families have a feud, and they can't stand each other. Lily Parker is the old master of the Montgomery family who was placed by my side. Back then, apart from me, there was nothing wrong with my family elsewhere. So I have nothing to do with Lily Parker. It's just to confuse the Montgomery family that I occasionally cooperate with her. I was dumbfounded after hearing this, opened my mouth, and could only give one comment: "You have made a great sacrifice, for the sake of my career." I even contributed myself. I wonder if Andrew Parker understood. I saw the veins on his forehead popping up. I shrank my neck in fright. Heaven is my witness. I absolutely did not mean to mock. I was just stating the facts. Andrew Parker gritted his teeth. I have a clear conscience with Lily Parker. I haven't even held her hand. But she wrapped her arms around your waist and kissed your lips. This is really a reflex. Definitely not a deliberate act. Andrew Parker, no. That day in the mall was a performance she deliberately put on for you. I glanced at him. That rare stubbornness flared up. I ran to my room, took out my phone, and searched for the recording. Ever since my aunt and uncle set me up and sold me out, my phone has had the automatic recording function on, to always keep evidence. The recording from that day is still there. I pressed play. Suddenly, the restaurant was filled with Lily Parker's delicate voice. Andrew Parker listened with an increasingly dark expression, and when he heard the last line, "Be good, it won't hurt soon," he completely lost it. That was edited by her. I blinked my eyes, meaning please start your explanation. Andrew Parker said expressionlessly, "Previously, she deliberately fell and sprained her ankle, called me to take her to the hospital. Then she made me take her home and asked me to apply medicine for her." The more he spoke, the more disgusted his expression became. In order to wrap things up, I agreed to let her and Julian Montgomery lower their guard, and that was what I said at that time. As for her self-indulgent moans, I haven't heard them. Besides, they are too pretentious compared to yours. I was taken aback, looking at him with wide eyes, not knowing how to respond to that. Andrew Parker continued, "After I got back that day, I washed my hands with disinfectant and alcohol, 10 times each." I pouted. It sounded quite pitiful. Is there anything else you want to ask?" I thought for a moment and asked, "Since you don't like Lily Parker, did you initially approach me to confuse Montgomery's family?" As I finished speaking, I noticed Andrew Parker looking at me with a somewhat aggrieved expression. "What do you think?" "What? No. Please don't say that you have a crush on me. My little heart can't take it." "Andrew Parker, don't you remember what you wrote to me in your letter back then?" I was baffled. "When did I ever write you a letter? Who writes letters these days?" I suddenly remembered that when I first started middle school, I had tried to write letters to make friends, even though this practice was no longer popular, even though I lived in a remote mountain area where mailing was inconvenient, and even though I didn't have much pocket money, I still wrote. Partly it was to vent, and partly I genuinely hoped to make friends. I didn't expect my letter to actually get a response. And it was from a nice boy. The more we chatted, the better our relationship became, and by the time we graduated high school, I promised to look for him after I went to college. Later, I looked at him in disbelief. "It's you," Andrew Parker said expressionlessly. "You didn't come to find me." I shrugged. "Life has been tough since I went to college. Why would I look for you? You said you wanted to be my girlfriend." "That wasn't. I didn't know the outside world was so. I have nothing but my face." I have to admit, I felt inferior after coming to the capital. I turned my head away and didn't look at him. Andrew Parker sighed, came over, and picked me up to sit on his lap. "Vivienne, I thought you had changed your mind at that time, after finding you. I didn't even dare to go up and meet you, so you didn't dare to meet me, but you dared to treat me as a substitute." Right, I raised my hand to touch his face, only to realize that there was a ring on my left ring finger. The red diamond was eye-catching. Andrew Parker leaned in closer and whispered in my ear, "Wedding ring, you are not allowed to take it off." Strong-arming. In a daze, I was led back to the bedroom by Andrew Parker, who coaxed and tricked me. After a while, I suddenly remembered something. That villa, you let Lily Parker stay there. The password for the villa door was set by her. I heard Andrew Parker grinding his teeth again. He said, "That villa is the wedding house I bought for us. The villa password is 0531. The date on your first letter." I was stunned. It really seemed to be true. Since Lily Parker can know of my existence, she can naturally find out more. Moreover, if you calculate the time, they were probably classmates back then. According to Andrew Parker, during that time Lily Parker should have been trying her best to get close to him. It's not surprising to know. Well, I'll believe it for now. Anyway, sometimes being tactful doesn't mean being indifferent. I quickly got my marriage certificate with Andrew Parker, and then quickly met his parents. The first thing my future mother-in-law said when she saw me was, "Oh my, it's been so many years. You finally brought my future daughter-in-law back." The first thing my future father-in-law said when he saw me was, "You should keep him in suspense for a while longer. Wait until he kneels and begs for marriage while crying over durians." Me. I raised my eyebrows. "That dress is this season's new arrival. Everything that fits me is different from what I imagined, and even more beautiful than I thought." One day I said to Andrew Parker, "I can only cling to you to get by. Sooner or later you'll get tired of it, and then there will be a mistress outside." "That would be best." Andrew Parker smiled oddly, and my alarm bells went off. Then he said, "But I know that Vivienne can live well even if I leave." After all, Vivienne's novels are really great. Some passages have given me a lot of inspiration. I was shocked. So this guy's way of messing with me is all learned from my novel, The Pit I Dug Myself. I have to jump in crying. Thank you for watching today's story. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below, so feel free to share your opinions. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more great stories. We'll see you in the next video.